Sooner recruiting and football news with Tyler McComas and Parker Thune.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up.
Hit the guys up on the Riverwind Casino calling line at 405-329-9000. Text the show on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line at 405-651-3439.
Do it! Just do it!
Now, with Locked In, here's Tyler McComas and Parker Thune.
Oh, no, that really happened. No, it really, really happened. I woke up Sunday morning, too, thinking, wait a minute. Did I have a dream that OU just kicked Alabama's ass all over the field? Did I just dream that Xavier Robinson, a true freshman, looked dominant, looked like OU's best player on offense? Did I have a dream that Jackson Arnold had over 100 rushing yards? Did I have a dream that OU just won that game by 3 scores and probably should have won by a lot more? Turned out it wasn't a dream. It really happens. One of the greatest nights that I've ever had inside the Palace on the Prairie. A night that I don't think that we're going to forget for a very, very long time. And you know what? It felt good, and I'm going to relive the whole freaking thing today. I'm going to sit back. It's going to be happy. It's going to be upbeat. It's going to be positive. And we're going to talk about that magical night in Norman on Saturday night as OU rolled Alabama. Parker, they ended their SEC championship hopes. They ended their national title hopes, their playoff hopes. OU ended their season, dog. Season, the best defensive performance, I think, in a very, very long time. Oh, my gosh, what a night. And you know what's funny about all of it? It ended up in a very similar fashion the way the entire season has started up to this point. Did we not have an "oh, here we go again" kind of feeling in the first quarter? Fumble inside the 30. Bauer Sharp drops a wide-open touchdown. You miss a field goal. Oh, well, there was our chance. Here we go again. No, OU rattles off 24 unanswered and wins the game. Just all of that was incredible.
Here's the thing,
Much
Tyler.
needed.
Here's the thing. In my lifetime, what I've grown accustomed to is that when Oklahoma is faced with a marquee opponent, a truly marquee opponent, they either fall flat on their face or, if they're lucky and they got it going that day, they manage to skirt by. They get it done, but it's a hard-fought football game for 60 minutes. That is what I have grown accustomed to throughout my lifetime watching OU football. Very rarely in my lifetime have I seen Oklahoma go toe-to-toe with a marquee opponent and just completely demolish them in every capacity. And, Tyler, this is probably the worst Oklahoma team that we've seen in the 21st century. And they just did that to Alabama. Like, Oklahoma does that any other year to Alabama. It's impressive enough. It's truly befuddling in the best way that this team, given all that they've been through this year, all of the injuries, all of the self-inflicted wounds, the complete inability at times to get out of their own way, the complete inability to find any sort of rhythm offensively. It's befuddling that this team was the team to just lay it on an opponent like Alabama.
And look, Alabama clearly has lost games in the past. They haven't lost a lot of games since the year 2008, really, once Saban first started getting it going in Alabama. Alabama's lost games. They haven't lost a lot of games since 2008. How many times since 2008 can we really remember where Bama's gotten beat like that? Like, to your point, this Oklahoma team beat Alabama like that, man. And it could have been worse. It could have been a lot worse on Saturday night. That's the least amount of points Alabama scored in a game since 2004. It's the first time they haven't scored a touchdown since 2011. OU just freaking dominated them. And there was nothing fluky about it, right? There was nothing fluky. OU dominated Alabama in the trenches. The program that you've really kind of been aspiring to be now for the past 10 years or so, or however long you want to go back, Bama's been kind of the standard in the sport of the physicality, the toughness, just everything that they do, the little things, the talent. You beat them at their own game, and you beat them bad, man. You beat them like they don't get beat like that, dude.
If you told somebody that had never watched either of those two teams play, Tyler, that one of these teams is number 7 in the country and was number 1 for a good chunk of the season, and the other one is fighting for bowl eligibility, it wouldn't have been a question in their mind, Tyler. It would have been like, oh, yeah, Oklahoma. That's the team that's number 7 in the country,
Eli
right?
Bowen, he must be about to win the Thorpe Award is what it sounds to me. Isn't there like a Thorpe Award in that sport that you guys watch? Yeah, that Eli Bowen kid's probably going to win it as a true freshman.
And Brent Venables said it after the game. You said it just now. It's 100% true. There was absolutely nothing fluky about that performance.
Nope.
Nothing.
They threw for under 75 yards. There's nothing fluky about it.
There was never a point in that game, even for the briefest of moments, where it felt like Alabama had the upper hand, Tyler. Even before Oklahoma jumped out to the lead in the second quarter with Xavier Robinson's first of 2 touchdown runs, it felt like the Sooners were in control. It felt like they controlled that game for 60 minutes.
Yeah.
And Bama's offense just had no answer. That was an absolute masterclass by Brent Venables and Zach Alley.
Yep, it was, man.
If you watch it back on tape, Jalen Milroe has nowhere to go, man. Nowhere to go with the football. When he throws, nowhere to go when he tucks it and runs. The Sooners swarmed to the ball. They played lockdown defense and coverage.
They tackled so well, too.
Tackled incredibly well. And got the benefit of a couple huge opportunistic plays from Eli Bowen and Kip Lewis. And, man, our Mason Thomas, when he is on his game, I don't know that there is a pass rusher in the country that can generate pressure as consistently and effectively as that dude right there.
So I've been seeing this a lot. Vandalay and Norman says Sooner Magic is real. Now, first, I do think Sooner Magic is real. I witnessed Sooner Magic in Auburn, Alabama earlier this season. Sooner Magic is real. Sooner Magic is awesome. And when you see it, you know when you see it, and it's really, really special. But here's the thing, guys. At least to me, like, that was a great night, but that wasn't Sooner Magic.
No.
That was,
no,
again, like, you just straight up dominated Alabama. And you could have convinced me before the game that OU's defensive line shows up and plays really well against Alabama's offensive line. I think that you could have made a strong argument that the D-line going into Saturday is OU's single best position group. But the OU offensive line really whipping Bama up front, their defensive line, that would have been a hard sell to me going into Saturday. And OU's offensive line, man, with all the uncertainty, all the rotations, all anything, give it up to them, man. They played extremely well, by far their best game of the year. OU's run game looked fantastic. That was the blueprint. They did exactly what they needed to do to win. And look, that was great that they capped off the touchdown drive after Eli Bowen got the pick. That was a great drive to get into the end zone to make it 10-3. Parker, how about like their final drive of the game? Was there 6.5 minutes left in the football game, and OU like basically drove all the way down the field and ended the game?
Yep.
That Oklahoma offense, that Oklahoma offensive line, they weren't throwing it around that drive. They were running it right at Alabama for 6.5 minutes to close out the game, and there's nothing that they could do.
And it just lends further credence to the notion, Tyler, that Oklahoma's toughest opponent all season has been Oklahoma. When they don't get in their own way, and save for that one little 3-minute run where you had the Tatum fumble, the Sharp drop, the Zach Schmidt missed field goal, they played 57 minutes of darn near flawless football. And it didn't have to be flawless. It was, but it didn't have to be. The point I'm making here is when Oklahoma doesn't get in their own way, they are not vastly inferior to anybody.
Sure.
That's not to say that they are undefeated if they have all their ducks in a row right now. This is the nature of life in the SEC. Everybody in this league is competitive. It is altogether likely, well, not likely, guaranteed at this point, that at least 13 of the 16 teams in the conference are going bowling. It could be 14 if Auburn wins the Iron Bowl this weekend. This league is deep, and on any given Saturday, you can have your hands full with an opponent in conference play. Alabama found that out the hard way on Saturday, but for Oklahoma, again, it makes you wonder, Tyler, how much better could this team be? How much better could the record be? How much better would the eye test be right now if this team hadn't spent so much of the 2024 season just actively shooting itself in the foot over and over and over again.
Well, how much better would the defense look today, right, if you didn't constantly shoot yourself over and over in the foot? Because that's like one of the game inside the game things, like as we're kind of reflecting on it now, is that I'm glad that the defense had a game, national television audience, the entire country watching, Alabama coming into town, really set to win an SEC title, playoff, national championship. The OU defense got to flex in front of everyone. And the OU defense has been good this year. The OU defense has been very good this year. They haven't been perfect. They've been put in very, very bad situations constantly throughout the year. But for the first time this season, Parker Thune, the OU defense got to flex, man. They got to show just how good of a unit that they are from top to bottom. And they delivered one of the most memorable defensive performances of my entire life. I put on my Twitter page, best defensive performance since January 3rd, 2001, when the OU defense shut down Chris Winkie in Florida State in the national championship. Maybe you want to go more recent and say the 2004 OU Texas game when they shut out Vince Young. The point is like that was the best defensive performance in at least like 20 years. Like we knew the OU defense was good. They just finally got put in good situations, and look what they gave you. A memorable performance for the ages. I'm just so freaking happy for everyone,
and that
man.
defense,
everyone.
That defense is darn near impenetrable. And nobody wanted to hear it up till now, but it's true, and you saw it Saturday night. This defense is darn near impenetrable when they are not actively disadvantaged and put in compromising situations by the Oklahoma offense. Alabama started one drive on Saturday night. One drive, Tyler, beyond their own 26-yard line.
Wow.
And so when you make the opponent go a full field length, I mean, touchback on a kickoff is a 25-yard line, right? So you start them off with average field position. This defense is borderline untouchable.
Yeah, it's really good, man. I mean, in terms of best single defensive performances in the SEC, I mean, we can sit here and think about it throughout the week, but that may be the most impressive performance that the SEC has seen all year long, man. I mean,
it's one of the most impressive wins in college football to this point.
Well, they were named the Cheez-It Team of the Week, huh? They woke up feeling the cheesiest on Saturday, I guess, since I have to watch that commercial all day on Saturday. But no, it was just a great night, man. The team needed it. It's great for the seniors. God knows Brent Venables needed it and his family needed it. It was just great for great for the fan base. It was just, God, it just felt. Yesterday was awesome. Normally on Sunday, driving back several hours after another road loss and just down in the dumps, or this week of radio is going to be tough. I got so many texts yesterday. Victoria Nafis, Darren Wilson. I mean, so many people I'm going to forget to name. This week on KREF is going to be awesome. And it was nice to get those texts on Sunday saying, yes, it's not going to be down in the dumps. It's going to be positive. It's going to be great. We get to say great things. It is going to be a great week on KREF. I'm happy. 308 texture from Nebraska. Tyler, I told myself I wasn't going to get emotional over the seniors because I don't even know them, so it would be silly, and I managed to do well with that. Then I listened to the postgame show, and the raw emotion in your voice made me tear up. You captured our emotions perfectly. Normally, like on the walk to O'Connell's or walk whatever the postgame show, like, okay, what's the lead? What are we going to say immediately after the open hits? I had no idea, so I just yelled real loud for about 25 seconds. And I wonder why I lost my voice 15 minutes into the postgame show. I just screamed, yeah, really loud, and boy, did O'Connell's respond to that. It was fun, man. What a night.
Puerto Rican Sooner with a great text, probably the text of the hour so far. That $200K fine for rushing the field should be taken out of Michael Fasusi's NIL as punishment for missing such an amazing game and going to Texas to watch a crap game.
Nice. Yeah, we'll get into more that whole situation coming up next segment. But she just texted in. I just saw it. Kathy, I had you down today. I really did. I had your name written down in the rundown sheet because Kathy Waller came up to me on Friday at Cadoodles and said, look, I can't explain it, but OU is going to win on Saturday. And I said, that's awesome. I love to hear that. I love the positivity. What's the final score going to be? You know what she said, Parker? I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But Oklahoma's going to win the game on Saturday. Kathy just texted in, I told Sooner Nation that the Sooners were going to win. Thanks for telling the listeners, Boomer Sooner. Kathy, you did it. You got it. Nice job. Very, very nice job on Friday. Sooner Jet says no need for positivity hour today. Mark from Enid, the on-field celebration and being there as a recruit and seeing that and being right there might be $200,000 well spent. Man, I am one that, I got to say, I had zero issue with the field storming on Saturday. Zero issues whatsoever. What that was, it was just a season of frustration.
Yep.
Everyone just for one night send the seniors off the right. I mean, it was just that. I mean, it was nothing more than that, I don't think. It's just been a season full of frustration, so we rushed the field, we celebrated, we kind of took out our frustrations that night. Like, nobody cares nationally. No one's pointing and laughing at you that you rushed the field. Nebraska rushed the field after beating Wisconsin on Saturday, okay?
Hey, they're bowl eligible for the first time since the Obama administration.
You weren't even the only team in the SEC to rush the field. No one cares nationally. No one's laughing at you. It was awesome. All of you got photos down there. Some of you made memories with your kids, with relatives, friends that'll last forever. Like, I don't care about that. I don't necessarily want to make it a habit, Parker.
Oh,
I don't want every SEC home win they rush the field, but for that night, totally cool with it.
And my initial feelings on it, my initial take on it was, please don't rush the field. No, don't rush the field. It's Oklahoma. This is Oklahoma. Act like you've been there before. And Mark Desher can attest to this. We were standing there on the sidelines as the final seconds reeled off, and I was going, I know they're going to, but I hate that they're about to rush the field. And the more I thought about it, though, the more I realized, you know what? This is great. This is not only okay, this is great.
It's awesome,
because Oklahoma has not rushed the field since 2000 against Nebraska. Before that, I believe the last time they would have rushed the field would have been 1985 against Nebraska.
Correct.
So it happens once in a blue moon, Tyler. And it's not about me in a moment like that. It's not about what anybody's opinions are. What it is about is it's about that team and those seniors and the virtuoso performance that they put on tape Saturday night and put on the TV screen in front of our very eyes and in front of the eyes of 84,000 people in attendance. That team deserved that moment. In a season that's just felt like one kick in the groin after another, I feel great, not for the fans, because the fans have a great time anytime OU won. But I primarily feel great because that team got to experience the sheer euphoria of a moment like that.
That was great. 405-651-3439. We'll get to as many texts as we can today. Michael Fasusi's Texas visit, Cortez Mills, Omarion Robinson update as well. We got you right here on the ref for the Homo Sooner fans. Orange Down Apple Pie Liquor is not your grandma's apple pie unless your grandma was a moonshiner with a PhD in flavor. This all-natural, 6-time distilled spirit is sure to light up any party, tailgate, or special occasion. Whether toasting a touchdown or yelling at the umps because Spike was safe, Horns Down Apple Pie is the perfect drink for celebrating the highs and lows of life in Oklahoma. Horns Down celebrates all of you who cheer from the berm, tailgate, on Lindsay Streak, and wreak havoc on social media. You can find our red bottle at your local liquor store or search for your closest location at drinkhornsdown.com.
Call 405-360-6764 and schedule an appointment today.
Skip the leftovers and get your game face on at Riverwind.
We're serving big wins and good times all season long.
Play thousands of your favorite games.
And enjoy the best rewards program in the Metro.
The Showplace Theater at Riverwind is the hottest spot for live music.
Don't miss our Digital Dash giveaway every Friday in November.
Play with your wild card to win your share of over $120,000.
The best food, drinks, and service only at Riverwind.
How about this? We're hanging out with the winningest coach in OU football history, Bob Stoops, Mondays on the T-Row in the Morning Show. It's the Stoops Review with the HBC on the T-Row Show, Mondays from 7:45 to 8:30 with limited commercial interruption. Every Monday, we'll be looking back at Saturday's OU game with a guy who knows what he's looking at. Bob Stoops, the Visor, the HBC on our show every Monday. Check it out.
This is Mark Van Hoos, owner of Van Hoos Fence. Van Hoos Fence has years of experience and proven superior performance, kind of like a certain head ball coach.
We know Van Hoos Fence offers the best value and service for your residential, commercial, or sports fencing needs. Whether it's a new install or repair work, let Mark and his team at Van Hoos Fence be your trusted resource.
Call us today at 405-735-1167.
Save yourself from Googling it up. Go to vhfence.com. They will work with you in a great way.
Get your ugliest holiday sweater out of the closet. Put together a team or register as an individual and make your way to Legacy Park on December 14th, 9 a.m. for the Norman and Parks Rec annual Ugly Christmas Sweater 5K run. Pay $30 for a shirt and medal and have your race timed or run untimed for free. Prices increase on December 1st, so sign up early. Go to Norman Parks and Rec on Facebook for more information.
Whether you're celebrating a special occasion, desire a great postgame, or after-work dining experience, the Ranch Steakhouse is the winning choice. At Ranch Steakhouse, we're grilling up the best USDA prime steaks in Oklahoma. Juicy, flavorful, and cooked to perfection. Pair that with an unbeatable atmosphere, a killer drink selection, and a wine list of over 400 personally curated bottles. Whether you're toasting the game or winding down after a big day, Ranch Steakhouse is where champions eat.
This holiday season, visit Cadoodles, Norman's only locally owned toy store. Don't know what to buy? Let our elves find the perfect gifts, like silent basketballs, licensed OU, NBA, NFL, and MLB items, science kits, soft snowballs, and Brio dinosaur trains, and so much more. We have free gift wrap and curbside service. Visit Cadoodles at 2001 Main Street in Carriage Plaza. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 5:30, and Saturday, 10 to 5. Or call 405-360-TOYS. Remember, Cadoodles, the toy store with the little door. Shop local this Christmas at Cadoodles.
For over 80 years, Primrose Funeral Service has been providing comfort and guidance during difficult times. Pre-planning with Primrose can help make things a little easier for families. Not only can you pre-plan a funeral, but you can pre-plan your sunset cemetery arrangements, which removes the difficulty of planning for a loss at the same time loved ones are experiencing one. Contact Primrose Funeral Service at 405-321-6000 or visit them online at primrosefuneralservice.com.
Locked in with McComas and Thune, live on the ref for the home of Sooner fans. Tyler McComas, Parker Thune, Ref Army listening worldwide via the free KREF app. Just search KREF in the App Store. Louisville, Kentucky's tuned in today. Jacksonville, Florida. Gilbert, Arizona. Aubrey, Texas. Brooklyn, New York. Haverhill, Massachusetts. Corvallis, Oregon. And Ada, Oklahoma, all tuned in via the free KREF app. And our Ref Army locator, brought to you by Horns Down Apple Pie. You can see the bottle if you're watching on our YouTube live stream. Upside down Longhorn there for the logo. Horns Down Apple Pie. Boy, tasted great on Saturday night after a big-time win over Alabama. I know I saw some tailgates out there had Horns Down Apple Pie as I was making my rounds before the game. Very proud of you all. But go check out Horns Down Apple Pie for the regular season finale coming up this Saturday against LSU. And, hey, heads up, got this one closed on Saturday morning. Friday, if you're going to be in Baton Rouge, we'll be at TJ Ribs Friday from 2 to 6 p.m. 2324 South Acadian Thruway in Baton Rouge. TJ Ribs. Apparently, it's really good. Legendary Louisiana barbecue. I guess we'll see. Friday from 2 to 6. Should be a fun time in Baton Rouge. Hope to see a lot of OU fans down there. Okay. Recruiting ramifications from this big game, because OU is easily one of, if not the biggest stories of the entire college football weekends. What's the recruiting ramifications of beating Alabama the way that you did on Saturday?
Well, it significantly increases your chances of flipping the lone official visitor on Saturday, which was 3-star linebacker and Baylor commit Caleb Burns.
Mm-hmm.
Now, more often than not, Tyler, in this situation, I would say, oh, yeah, that's an auto flip. Like, you can count on it. But here's what complicates matters. Baylor has very quietly won 5 games in a row and is 7-4.
I think they're going to win 8 games, dude. Crazy.
Well, they got to beat Kansas, but
at home, yeah.
Yeah,
Katie's hot.
Baylor's gotten hot. And Caleb Burns, and we go back to the Oregon visit in October. There was the Fong bomb for the Ducks after that, and the message that I've continued to communicate here is that kid is not going to go that geographically far away from home. If it's not going to be Baylor, it's going to be Oklahoma. So right now, there are basically only two options on the table, Tyler. Either he sticks with Baylor or he flips to Oklahoma. Now, it is also important to note here that Caleb Burns is not signing next week. He is not signing until February. So, just because you don't have a verdict, if you don't have a verdict in the next 10 days, just because you don't have one doesn't mean that this thing is over one way or another. It just means it's got another 2 months to play out, another 2 months for Oklahoma. If they don't succeed in flipping him expediently here, it means they have another 2 months to play the long game and angle for a flip at or near National Signing Day in February. So that's the situation with Caleb Burns. I don't know right this second what he's going to do, but one of the things that I've consistently heard in talking to people close to that recruitment is he's an impressionable kid. Impressions, especially first impressions, mean a lot to him. And if that's the first impression
not bad
on Caleb Burns,
not bad.
I mean, you hit all the marks, didn't you? Absolute defensive mastery of Alabama. Absolute domination on that side of the football. You got a field rush, and you got bowl eligible.
And he's probably going back home saying, guys, you should hear when OU plays courtesy of the red, white, and blue at the end of the third quarter. It's freaking awesome. Which it was pretty awesome on Saturday.
It was better than it's been. It did not compare to How Do You Like Me Now, though.
No.
Which, again, further confirmation that should have been the song all along, Tyler.
K-Dub, all right, don't get mad at me. But I was actually pretty impressed with the in-stadium environment on Saturday. Not just the fans, but they played Jump Around, which is really cool. They played How Do You Like Me Now, what you're talking about. I mean, it was a pretty insane atmosphere, that's for sure. So we'll see with Caleb Burns, man. We are getting close to the early signing period, and hopefully he flips from Baylor to Oklahoma. All right, the big fish that everyone wants to talk about, and, there's stories on Rivals right now. Hey, 10 potential flips to watch before signing day. Gorney had a story out there. Of course, Michael Fusi is going to be on the list. And it just kind of had a quick little write-up on Fusi on Rivals. Says, been committed to OU since late August, but things got really interesting as he took a visit to Texas over the weekend and will be at A&M this weekend. The trip to Austin went really well for the five-star offensive tackle, and Texas cannot be counted out of any recruitment, but the word Sunday was that A&M might be the team to watch here if things go well in College Station. Here's the most important part, though. The overwhelming feeling right now is that Fusi sticks with the Sooners. Is that accurate on Monday, November 25th, 2:36 Central Standard Time? Is that the overwhelming thoughts?
I would stop short of using the word overwhelming. That is the feeling. However, Tyler, the fact that he's taking the Texas visit, or took the Texas visit and is taking the A&M visit, that alone has you feeling uneasy, because if the kid was 100% locked in, if you were overwhelmingly sure he was signing next Thursday, then why take those two visits? So people in the Oklahoma circle still feel good about where things stand between them and Fusi. They still feel like this thing is going to get done. But nobody is taking this to the bank. Nobody is acting like it's a done deal. Because they know.
Sure.
They know that the Texas visit is a red flag. They know that the A&M visit is a red flag. It doesn't mean he doesn't sign with Oklahoma. And again, that's where the confidence lies. But five-star recruitments, man, they are in a class of their own as far as drama is concerned.
What are we? Are we 9 days away from early signing day? Is it? Yeah. 9 days. Is that right?
9 days. Yep.
Yeah. Are we going to be sweating this out a week from Wednesday? Are we going to know for sure one way or the other, or do we think that we're highly questioning it going into Wednesday?
Ask me again after the A&M visit.
Because we're probably going to be sweating it out then going into Wednesday.
And I've said before, I'm kind of more worried about Texas A&M with Fusi than Texas. So there will be some sweating one way or another. And to draw a parallel here, Oklahoma went into signing day 2022 feeling great about Peyton Bowen and where he was going to sign. And ultimately, they got their way, but it wasn't without one heck of a barrel roll.
It's true.
And so when you don't know for certain going into signing day, and you're not going to know for sure with Michael Fusi, you always got to leave yourself open to the possibility that you might be in for something bizarre when the time comes to put pen to paper.
Just to quickly go back to the game on Saturday, and then we'll get back to recruiting in your text.
Okay.
So you just mentioned the Peyton Bowen saga, and I'll never forget that day, talking recruiting. I remember exactly where I was at. I was at Riverwind, all the text. I mean, that was a crazy 24 hours. We thought on that day it was huge just to get a 5-star defender in Peyton Bowen, and it was. What we didn't know at the time is that younger bro was going to come onto campus a little bit later and be really, really good too. Be really good. Parker has his hands out right now. He's about to deliver something. I don't know.
Eli Bowen makes me look like such a smart man. There is no one on the OU football roster that makes me look smarter every single day than Eli Bowen and R. Mason Thomas.
Eli, they're both really good, man. Eli Bowen, man, what a play that he made in the third quarter. And you know what was impressive too? It's 10-3 at halftime. It's like, okay, I mean, we got a chance to win this game, but how many people out there were thinking, when's the other shoe going to drop here?
Mm-hmm.
When's that going to happen? I'll be honest with you, man. Even at 24-3, I'm like, this is awesome.
You're just waiting for the collapse, waiting for the avalanche.
I mean, when's Alabama going to turn? When are they going to start making play? Like, when? It never happened. It never happened. OU got up 24-3, and they held Bama from scoring the rest of the game. It never got interesting after that. I mean, it just what a night. Oh, what a night. Okay, Alex from Dallas says, do you guys feel like 6.5 is too high of a spread for the LSU game? I mean, do we all agree that OU can absolutely go down there and win that football game in Death Valley? It's not going to be easy. They're going to have to replicate in a lot of ways what they did on Saturday, but 6.5 too high? I mean, I think OU's going to go down there and compete and have a chance to win. They don't turn the ball over.
It is too high. That feels like a pick'em. And if you're regarding it as a pick'em, I would be okay with LSU -3 for home field advantage. But, yeah, that 6.5, that feels steep. I would take Oklahoma to cover, certainly.
50-year-old Mistake says, what a job Bill Bedenbaugh has done. From double-digit sacks to running Bama off the field, literally. Maybe his best coaching job ever? Fusi, take note. You don't get that at Texas or at Texas A&M. That's a performance on the offensive line that you can build from, or you can build off of. I mean, they got confidence for the first time in how long? I mean, and I know they're still rotating some guys up front from time to time, but you got some young players out there that look like they're going to be really, really good players for you in the future. That was the first time in an SEC game that you come out, or really in a conference game that you come out and say, I maybe feel optimistic about this OU line moving forward. That was a big, big night for them. Big, big night for the OU offensive line. Cool Moj says, grateful to God for helping me battle through my injuries and overcoming them. On to the next. #Boomer. Cool Moj said Michael Fusi said that 20 hours ago. Grateful to God for helping me battle through my injuries and overcoming them. On to the next. #Boomer. So we put #Boomer on a post 20 hours ago.
Well, there you go, Tyler.
That's it, man.
The hashtags tell the whole story. He's sticking. Lock it in.
1-star Chonky Chuck. Milroe looked absolutely shook. He had no idea what the defense was doing. BV orchestrated a superb game plan, and getting to see those cocky Bama fans whine and complain about a bum team kicking their ass is icing on the cake. It was great.
When was the last time? And, the question I asked right off the bat was, when was the last time we saw Oklahoma dominate a marquee opponent that thoroughly? When was the last time we saw a top 10 team, a legitimate college football playoff contender, just get housed by an unranked opponent like Oklahoma did to Alabama Saturday night?
Maybe more recent than we think. I'll have to really think about that one. I hope the last one isn't Oklahoma getting housed by an unranked opponent. That wouldn't be very much fun. But to that point, how many times in the past 5 years, really, how many times since the Bob Stoops era was over have we said, well, man, that was a tough loss for Oklahoma today, But you know what? That opponent they put everything together. They played their best football game of the year. Oh, you lost to Texas today, man. Texas played its best game of the year. Oh, you lost to this team today. Man, they just played their best game of the year. Like, how many times have we been able to say recently, hey, you know what? Oklahoma played its best game of the year. Everything clicked for OU. Everything that we've been talking about, complimentary football, OU played its best game of the year. That happened on Saturday. It happened on Saturday, and I can't really remember the last time we've been able to look at each other after a game and say, hey, say what you want. Oklahoma played, without a doubt, its best game of the year. That's their best football. That's OU's best football right there. Well, except for the drop touchdown and the missed field goal and the
take
fumble
that out of the
earlier.
equation. But, look, it's never going to be perfect, right? You're never going to play a perfect football game. That was as close to perfect as you could have reasonably asked of this Oklahoma team in 2024. And it wasn't just good enough to win, Tyler. It was good enough for a 3-score win over Alabama, a team that hadn't been held without a touchdown since 2011.
Yep. Hadn't scored 3 points since 2004. Pretty sweet.
Now, I guarantee you the narrative this offseason surrounding Oklahoma football is going to be very, very different than what you're used to. Because, and I mentioned this a couple hours ago, Oklahoma and Florida are the two teams that everybody is going to have on their watch-out list for 2025. Because the storyline, if you will, the talking points for those two programs this offseason are going to be very, very similar, Tyler. It's going to be, man, they had some real struggles first half of the season. They had some things they had to figure out. But once they figured them out, once they figured out what their brand of football needs to look like, what their identity is, they started to really show the flashes of the football teams that everybody expected that they could be at some point under Billy Napier and Brent Venables, respectively, who were members of the same coaching cycle back in 21.
And that's my question now. I mean, I'm still living in the moment. No 24-hour rule for this guy. It's 48 or 72. Like, we'll see. But I am curious, like, that was a great win on Saturday, man. What does it mean moving forward? Was it just one great night in a season full of constant disappointment for the most part? Or is this something that the program is really going to build on, carry some momentum to the offseason, and do something in 2025? Clearly, I hope it's the latter. I hope it's the latter. But I'm wondering, like, what was this? Was it just a one night? You know, was it just one Saturday night in Norman, Oklahoma, where everything came together? Or is this kind of the big moment in the Brent Venables era, and they're going to start to get rolling? Again, I hope it's the latter.
By the way, a little footnote, did you see Kobe McKenzie and Kinsey Hansen got engaged?
I did. Congratulations to both.
Kinsey McKenzie, that's going to be a real thing.
You think she's heard that before?
No, a time or two, yes.
Nate Dogg says, Tyler and Parker, the Palace and tailgating scene was the most hyped I have ever been a part of, probably ever. And he attaches a bunch of photos that he took on Saturday. Awesome, Nate Dogg. Okay, we're going to get to all text next segment. Nothing else. None of my BS. Nothing else. Straight to text all next segment. We'll close up Locked In with that right here on The Ref. We're the Home of Sooner fans. Orange Down Apple Pie Liquor is not your grandma's apple pie unless your grandma was a moonshiner with a PhD in flavor. This all-natural, 6-time distilled spirit is sure to light up any party, tailgate, or special occasion. Whether toasting a touchdown or yelling at the umps because Spike was safe, Horns Down Apple Pie is the perfect drink for celebrating the highs and lows of life in Oklahoma. Horns Down celebrates all of you who cheer from the berm, tailgate, on Lindsay Street, and wreak havoc on social media. You can find our red bottle at your local liquor store or search for your closest location at drinkhornsdown.com.
Anytime we need electrical work done at our station, we call Wade Electric. They've been out to install new exterior lighting, convert interior lighting to LED, update devices, and install new power where needed. Call them today at 405-329-1940. Wade Electric, the electrical experts.
Hi, my name is Cooper Cunningham, and I am a sophomore at Norman High. Between playing on the football and baseball teams, my life is a go, go, go. I need a place where I can take a breath, get a break, and rest and recover. For me, that place is McFarland Memorial United Methodist Church. If you're looking for a church like that, I've got a seat saved for you.
Life is yours to spend. Spend it expanding your balance. Spend it expanding your mind. Spend it wondering what comes next. Spend it trusting that God has a plan. Spend it taking small steps in your own life. Spend it making a big impact on someone else's. First United Bank. Spend life wisely.
It's the inaugural SEC season for Oklahoma basketball, and that just means more defense, more dunks, more threes, and more thrills to the Lloyd Noble Center. Bring the family for an exciting, action-packed experience that everyone will enjoy. Tickets are on sale now with great deals available all season long. Don't miss out on any of the men's basketball action this season. Visit Soonersports.com/MBB to check out upcoming games and secure your seats today.
When I grow up, I want to be a teacher.
Because when I'm a teacher, I can help kids to learn and chase their dreams.
PI, a defect of the immune system, affects millions of children. Early and accurate diagnosis and treatment give children like Sam a chance to achieve their dreams.
It takes a lot of caring teachers to make school fun. It took a lot of caring people to keep my dream alive. And now, because of them, I can be head of the class.
For more information, visit the Jeffrey Modell Foundation at info4pi.org.
It's football time in Oklahoma. While you enjoy the game and tailgate, let Scissortail Roofing and Construction handle your roofing or construction project from start to finish. Whether it's a damage from a storm or a full construction project, we have you covered. Call us today at 405-928-8089 or visit us online at scissortailroofing.com for a free estimate. Hit by hail? Call Scissortail today, your trusted local roofing and construction company.
Is your pool ready for a refresh? At Signature Custom Pools, we turn your visions into reality. Whether it's a sleek, modern redesign or a luxurious new addition for next season, our expert team creates pools tailored to your lifestyle. Dive into elegance and enhance your home's beauty. Call them for a free consultation at 405-898-9098 or visit them online at signaturecustompools.com so you can make your dream pool a reality with a splash next season.
Children are the greatest joy and our best hope for a better future. Friends, they are the future. But did you know that millions of kids are facing hunger every day? Food is not just food. It's energy, health, confidence, hope, and even love. Yes, love.
Thank you!
Learn more about how No Kid Hungry is helping end child hunger in America at helpnokidhungry.org.
Dorsey Jones Buick GMC in El Reno, bringing this hour of Locked In with McComas and Thune. Dorsey Jones is family owned and operated, established in 2020, but many of their employees have been there for more than 20 years. They sell Buicks and GMCs, which are some of the best trucks and SUVs on the road. Dorsey Jones Buick GMC in El Reno. All right, all text. Let's do it. Cherokee Sooner. So happy for Danny and Billy. They've been the glue of this team, and they can leave knowing the defense is in good hands with Kip and the Bowens. 100%. And, you know, as great as Danny is and has been, and he's a Butkus finalist, by the way, really hope he wins that award. I think he deserves to. Kip Lewis is going to be pretty good next year. I mean, Kip Lewis is good now, but Kip Lewis next year, you think about the potential that he has next season. Woo, boy. And that's not even to mention the two Bowens, Eli over there at corner.
And here's what I love about Kip Lewis. Man, he has just gotten so much better. He has improved so much since he got to Norman. Because you think about Danny Stutzman, and Danny Stutzman is a great player, one of the greatest to ever wear the uniform at the linebacker position. He's going to be remembered here. But Danny Stutzman's path and Kip Lewis's path have been very different. Danny Stutzman was on the field making an impact as a true freshman.
Yep.
Kip Lewis redshirted. The only game he played in as a true freshman was that game against Texas where everybody got in at the end because they were down 49-0. Kip Lewis played his freshman year at 196 pounds. Tyler, he was not ready. He was not ready in any capacity. And hardly anyone could have foreseen that the following year as a redshirt freshman, he would eventually supplant Jaron Kanek for a starting role alongside Stutzman. And now here he is as a redshirt sophomore, and he's morphed into one of the better linebackers in the SEC. I'm so impressed with his personal development and just continual improvement over the years.
You know who deserves a lot of credit for that? Yeah, Brent Venables. Danny Stutzman deserves a lot of credit for that.
Ted Roof?
Ted Roof, clearly. But seriously, Danny deserves a lot of credit for that because Danny didn't have that guy when he got here, man. I mean, he had to learn on the job, and he had to learn fast. And so when you look at that linebacker core that's going to be really good again next year, led by Kip Lewis, thank Danny Stutzman for that because he helped bring really all those guys along as well. So that's pretty cool. Okay, let's see. This texture from Lawrence, Sooner Hawk, says, my family of 5 drove from Lawrence. First game my full family went to a game. I knew the OU environment would be great, but the game outcome was so unexpected. Also, I threw a Bama football over the north wall. Yeah, sweet. My wife and I stormed the field in 2000, and our family stormed the field on Saturday, among my best days on earth. Another reason why it's not a big deal. You shouldn't be embarrassed that OU rushed the field. There's a family in 5 in Lawrence, Kansas that'll never forget that night. And I think that is awesome. I think that's great. Chonky Chuck says hopefully Stutz gets his jersey back. I saw a text earlier. So, is someone reporting that the jersey has been found? I need to go back down and find that text. You know we're getting so many texts
Imagine
right now, so
stealing Danny Stutzman's jersey.
Yeah,
What a moron. Whoever that person is, you suck. You suck, and I hope you have the wrath of an entire nation, that being Sooner Nation, of course, on your head whenever that jersey turns up.
Minnesota Sooner today, I read some Bama fans' comments on social media who were resorting to, quote, Oklahoma knew all the plays before they were ran, or else this trash defense would have never held Bama in check. Gotta love it. Bama fans and flames. I love to see it. One-star Cole in Claremore has texted this several times. You've gotten my attention, Cole. Parker, why running from this money? I thought you'd do anything for the right price. Give us the deets. Give us the deets. I'm trying to figure out what that's in reference to. But he's texted it like 20 times.
Yeah, I don't have a clue. Be
Oh,
specific,
I
Cole.
guess maybe is he trying to say that Jackson Arnold maybe coming back? I don't know. Yeah, give us the details on that. 3-star Lost City Sooner, Kip, Lewis Carter, and Kobe. What a trio. Yes. Chris Tate, Fabechi, and Heath Ozida played lights out. Completely bullied Bama at the line of scrimmage. The future is bright in Norman. Program-changing win. Fabechi, he got SEC Offensive Lineman of the Week, didn't he?
That he did.
Wow. Wow. Like, really, OU owned all the Player of the Week awards this week. That's basically what it was. Storming the field cost the university $200,000. I say it is what it is. Some things just need to happen, and half of that goes to Alabama. They should just send that right back after that ass whipping. $200,000. Worth it. We do need to rush on our field storm. You know, we need to work on that a little bit in the offseason, but, you know, we'll get there. Chris from OK, Oklahoma. Parker, Malachi Coleman, any chance OU comes back around?
There's been a lot of Malachi Coleman texts this hour. I knew we would get around to it eventually. Look, he can't officially enter the transfer portal until, when does the window open? Is it December 9th, I think? Whenever the portal opens in December, I imagine there will be contact between Oklahoma and Malachi Coleman. What I know from Malachi's end is that he loves the University of Oklahoma. That has never changed. That has never stopped. Again, I said it so many times at the tail end of that recruiting cycle when he was down in Nebraska and Colorado after OU backed off. He was going to commit to the University of Oklahoma. Malachi Coleman would have been a Sooner.
Yeah.
And it was an OU decision to tap the brakes there, slow the roll, and eventually not continue pursuing him. Here's the difference. Here's the difference between the recruitment of Malachi Coleman in 2022 and the hypothetical recruitment of Malachi Coleman in 2024. In 2022, there was a vision from the Oklahoma side for Malachi Coleman, and that vision entailed putting him at tight end. They saw Malachi Coleman long-term as a dynamic tight end that could play in line and play slot. In the 2 years since, he's obviously enrolled at Nebraska, and he has played wide receiver. That's what he is now. He's a wide receiver. That's pretty well established. And it was reiterated to me very early on this season by several folks on the Oklahoma side of things that Oklahoma's A1 priority And obviously priorities have changed since then. This was before a lot of what happened this season had happened. But at the time, Oklahoma's A1 priority, and what I would imagine right now will still be a major priority for Oklahoma, is recruiting size guys who can run at the wide receiver position out of the portal. Malachi Coleman checks those boxes.
Yeah.
6'4", 4.42 in the 40. That'll play, Tyler.
One-star Big Rick in Owasso in all caps. Did you see Austin Seibert? I did see Austin Seibert yesterday, and even as a Cowboys fan, that was tough to watch. 972 says, we heard about Fusi. What about the other commitments? This is what Rivals has to say on Cortez Mills. Nebraska has been the long-time second-place school here, but Auburn, Florida State, Penn State, and Colorado are others that have been involved as well if the four-star receiver from the state of Florida plans to flip. How concerned are we about Cortez Mills 9 days before a lot of guys are going to make a decision officially?
You ought to be sweating a little bit.
And then Omarion Robinson, Arkansas could be in this one, but if Robinson flips, watch the Oregon Ducks.
Don't think Omarion Robinson is flipping. I expect him to sign in 9 days. A 405 listener says, I live in Bristow. Elijah Thomas might be good at football.
Yeah, did you see him Friday?
That's where I was.
Was he the hero at the end of the game? Did he make a big play late to secure a big victory?
Yes, he went 76 yards off a screen pass with less than a minute remaining.
Oh, that'll play.
To vault Shakota into the state semifinals for the first time in 30 years.
Nice.
On the night, Tyler, 270 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns.
Do you think Carrie Underwood's going to show up for the semifinals, or is she too good?
She's waiting until the state title game.
Okay. Well, at this point, Tony Romo will probably be at the semifinal game. He shows up all the time now, I guess. Like, okay, all right. Thanks,
I guess
Tony.
somebody was saying on the text line it's his father-in-law that's an OU grad, maybe?
All right.
Shoot, I don't know.
Brian in the 918, have we given up on getting Nate Roberts? Well, I mean, I think that you and I have given up talking about that. He's going to Ohio State. Going to Ohio State.
Les in Hayes, Kansas says, fun fact, you know who beat Coleman in the 100 meters in high school? It was Jaron Kanek.
Interesting. Fascinating.
Yes, indeed. That is true. Now, Kanek had a year on Malachi Coleman.
Yeah,
but
he did.
He did beat him in the 100 meters.
405, Kevin Wilson, OC. Probs not. 405, I am 63.9 years old and am a certified olds. I was here for the Snellenberger Blake era. While waiting for the end of the game, I started talking to my fellow field stormers. Several seniors told me that they spent their entire OU student experience not seeing the stuff that made us kings of the Big 12. This win was huge for them. This was my first and only field rush. It was freaking magical. My wife got pictures with about a dozen players, Plank, and about 1 million students. I just walked around watching the kids drinking in the amazing. What a night.
Chonky Chuck adds, it's crazy how quickly the fans who called for Sir William E. Bedenbaugh's job either flipped sides or just went silent after that performance.
Romo was OC in all caps. It's Ficklin time, says Mississippi Pot Roast.
Oh, yeah. Keep an eye on that one, folks. Keep an eye on that one.
That one looking a little bit better than it did last Thursday or so, or what? Things heating up over the weekend between the two parties? Texas State, G.J. Kinney, have to find him another quarterback?
I'll call my shot. I think Jamarian Ficklin is going to be a Sooner.
Okay. All right. 405, OU wearing red this weekend. I would guess LSU actually wore gold uniforms on Saturday. I'm going to guess that LSU wears their traditional white uniforms, and OU's got the crimson look on the road, which is going to be pretty awesome, actually. You excited about this trip? Because I am.
I'm very excited.
I've always wanted to go to Death
I did not
Valley.
expect to be excited about this trip, but I'm stoked. Again, Tyler, over 7.5 wins is still on the table somehow.
What's this whole, optimism and hope thing?
I know.
I may be driving down to Baton Rouge being like, I think you could go down here and be in this football game late in the fourth quarter and go down there and win the thing.
Yeah, I know. I figured I'd spend Black Friday going, tryptophan hasn't even worn off from the Thanksgiving turkey, and I'm having to drive down to Baton Rouge to watch OU lose by 20. And now it's like, all right, take it to the Tigers in Death Valley, baby.
Everyone wear the exact same thing that you wore on Saturday, all right? Let's run it back. Everyone just run it back. OU's going to wear what they wore on Saturday, right? Uniform-wise, obviously.
Yeah, and hey, listen.
So we can do it too.
Steely's at Cavens tomorrow, so the delay will prohibit this. But come Wednesday, I'm not going to be in studio. Whoever is running this board needs to ensure that Steely sings the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald again.
Well, we can do it. Run it back, man. Button Lady says in-game experience was fantastic. Timing is everything. If we had played How Do You Like Me Now at the South Carolina game, we would have looked like idiots. The people in charge knew exactly when to play it and jump around. Sorry to the 918 negative Nelson who hates everything we do, but even the kicking for chicken was outstanding. Yeah, Button Lady bringing the heat. I love it. Yeah, it was all great, man. It was all great. When you're beating someone like that, beating Alabama like that, everything is just best home game experience, atmosphere, all that since when? 08 Tech, probably?
Maybe so, Tyler. I mean,
it's your biggest home win in a long
I
time.
certainly have not been around. I have not been present, physically present, for an environment and atmosphere that holds a candle to what we experienced Saturday. That was what SEC readiness looks and sounds and feels like.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool, that's for sure. We got a special guest coming up at 3:30. I DM'd him. I want to relive the magic today. Steve Stutzman is going to join the show today, coming up at 3:30 to let us know how his senior day was, which is going to be a lot of fun. The Rush is up next, right here on The Ref.